Some records sat locked in a vault, not because they weren't good enough, but because one man decided the world wasn't ready for them. That man was Berry Gordy. He built Motown into the most successful black-owned business in American history by running it like a factory, with strict quality control, Friday morning meetings, and an iron veto over everything that went out the door. Ooh, I bet you're wondering how I knew. He was right a lot of the time, but not always. Today, we're counting down 7 Motown tracks that Berry Gordy rejected, shelved, or outright killed. And every single one of them became a global. Number 7, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. The Temptations, 1966. A young producer named Norman Whitfield was hungry. He wanted to take over the Temptations from Smokey Robinson, Gordy's best friend, and he thought he had the song to do it. He and Eddie Holland wrote Ain't Too Proud to Beg, a raw, sweat-soaked soul track driven by David Ruffin's urgent, desperate lead. He brought it to Motown's Friday quality control meeting. It failed twice. Berry Gordy listened and said it was good, but it needed more story. Even this I can stand, 'cause I wanna... Whitfield went back into the studio furious. This time, he moved David Ruffin's vocal line above his natural range, forcing the singer to strain and sweat through every take. Temptation, Otis Williams later recalled, by the end of that session, Ruffin was, quote, drowning in sweat, and his glasses were all over his face. The third version worked. They brought it back to quality control, and this time it went up against Smokey Robinson's Get Ready for the same slot. Just to keep you from walking away. Since Robinson was Gordy's closest collaborator and the Temptations' established producer, his song went out. Whitfield's was shelved again. Temptations' road guitarist Cornelius Grant was there. He said watching Whitfield lose that vote, it was as if the veins jumped out of Norman's neck. But Gordy made a deal. If Get Ready missed the Pop Top 20, Ain't Too Proud to Beg would be the next single. Pit of my heart, and each day it grows more and... Get Ready reached number 1 on the R&B chart, but only number 29 on the pop chart. That was the trigger. Ain't Too Proud to Beg went out, hit number 1 R&B and number 13 pop. It knocked Robinson off as the Temptations' main producer, and Norman Whitfield, he never lost a release battle like that again. Number 6, Jimmy Mack, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, 1964/1967. This one wasn't just rejected by Berry Gordy, it was hidden. Holland Dozier Holland, Motown's legendary songwriting team, wrote and recorded Jimmy Mack with Martha Reeves and the Vandellas in 1964. It was a bright, hand-clap-driven plea from a woman waiting for her man to return. But it never made it to a quality control meeting because there was a woman named Billie Jean Brown. She ran Motown's quality control department, and every single song had to pass through her desk before it could even get a hearing. According to Lamont Dozier, one of the song's writers, Billie Jean Brown didn't like Jimmy Mack. She pulled it off the agenda entirely. No vote, no hearing, just gone. The song sat on a shelf for 2.5 years, and Martha Reeves had no idea it even existed in the vault. Then in late 1966, Berry Gordy was going through unreleased material, and he came across it. According to Lamont Dozier, Gordy listened, pounded his fist on the desk, and said, "How long has this been on the goddamn shelf?" When someone told him 2.5 years, he barked, "I want this out next week." Jimmy Mack was released on February 3rd, 1967. It shot to #1 on the R&B chart. It reached #10 on the Billboard Hot 100. And because of the Vietnam War, a song about a woman waiting for her man to come home took on a completely new meaning for thousands of Americans whose loved ones were overseas and hadn't come back. A song buried by one gatekeeper accidentally became an anthem for an entire generation at war.
Listen, 90% of you watching right now aren't subscribed yet. If these stories are blowing your mind, imagine what you're missing. Hit subscribe, turn on that bell, and join the 200,000 R&B fans who never miss a Groove Lens upload.
#5. I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Marvin Gaye, 1966/1968.
Offshore plans that make me blue.
Norman Whitfield and Barrett Strong wrote I Heard It Through the Grapevine in 1966. They brought it first to Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Berry Gordy vetoed it. He told Whitfield and Strong to make it stronger. They went back and recorded it with Marvin Gaye in early 1967. This version was a completely different animal. Whitfield pushed Gaye to sing above his natural vocal range, the same trick that had worked with David Ruffin on Ain't Too Proud to Beg. The result was slow, dark, and paranoid. Built on Wurlitzer electric piano, full string arrangements, and a vocal drenched in pain and disbelief. The quality control department approved it. Berry Gordy blocked it anyway. He said it didn't fit the smooth, romantic image he was building for Marvin Gaye.
You could have told me.
Instead, he released a Holland Dozier Holland song called Your Unchanging Love, which peaked at number 33.
What you see, sun and night.
An angry Whitfield turned to Gladys Knight and the Pips. He rearranged the song as a faster Southern soul stomper, and Gordy reluctantly allowed that version out in September 1967. It went to number 2 on the pop chart. It was the biggest Motown single up to that point.
Lose my mind, honey, well.
Whitfield still wanted the Marvin Gaye version released. Gordy told him, "Get out of my face. Mention that record again, and you're fired."
Within my life, you see, oh, show me.
But in August 1968, Whitfield quietly placed Gaye's version on the album In the Groove.
I can't hold inside, losing you.
A DJ at radio station WVON in Chicago, a man named E. Rodney Jones, started playing it off the album. The phones went insane. Gordy had no choice. He released it as a single in October 1968. Marvin Gaye's I Heard It Through the Grapevine stayed at #1 on the Billboard pop chart for 7 straight weeks.
Baby, leave half of what you see.
It became the biggest selling single in Motown's entire history, until the Jackson 5 broke the record 20 months later.
If it's true, please tell me, dear.
Gordy had rejected the same song twice, and then watched it become the crown jewel of everything he built.
Heard it through the grapevine. Ooh.
Number 4, For Once in My Life, Stevie Wonder, 1967/1968.
Afraid I can go where life leads me.
For Once in My Life was written by Motown staffers Ron Miller and Orlando Murden in 1965 as a slow, lush, string-heavy ballad.
For once in my life.
It had already been recorded as that ballad by Barbara McNair and then by The Temptations as a mellow vocal showcase.
For once I have something.
Then a 17-year-old Stevie Wonder got hold of it, and he completely flipped the song. He sped it up. He made it joyful and explosive, driven by a swinging rhythm, punching horns, and his own exuberant harmonica.
Me.
He recorded it in the summer of 1967 with producer Henry Cosby.
Once in my life I have someone who needs.
When Berry Gordy heard it, he didn't like it. The upbeat treatment of a song so clearly written as a slow ballad just didn't work for him. He vetoed the release. Stevie's version went back in the vault. It sat there for a full year. Then the head of Motown's quality control department, Billie Jean Brown, the same woman who once buried Jimmy Mack, made a rare move. She went to Gordy and pushed hard for Stevie's version to come out. Gordy finally relented in October 1968. The record peaked at #2 on both the Billboard Pop and R&B charts simultaneously.
Long as I know I have love, I can make it.
The only song that kept it off #1, Marvin Gaye's I Heard It Through the Grapevine, another track Gordy had originally refused to release. 2 songs Gordy vetoed, blocking each other from the top spot at the same time. The irony was almost too perfect for words.
For once in my life I have someone who.
Number 3, Tears of a Clown, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, 1967/1970. Here's something not everyone knows. The Tears of a Clown was co-written by Stevie Wonder. In 1967, a young Stevie Wonder and producer Hank Cosby recorded an instrumental and handed the tape to Smokey Robinson. Robinson listened to it for a few days. He thought it sounded like a circus. That gave him the idea. He based the lyrics on the Italian opera Pagliacci, the story of a clown who must make the audience laugh while weeping in private from a broken heart. The song was a masterpiece of contradiction. The music bright and bouncing, the words about hiding devastating loneliness behind a smile. It was placed on the Miracles' 1967 album, Make It Happen, not released as a single. Neither Smokey nor Stevie Wonder, the co-writers of the song, pushed for it. They didn't think it had hit single potential. Gordy agreed. It was filed away. 3 years passed. Then in 1970, a Motown executive in England, thousands of miles from Detroit, heard the album track and decided to release it as a single in the UK as a last attempt to build the Miracles audience there. It went to #1 in Britain. Gordy, watching from across the Atlantic, immediately remixed it and released it in America. In September 1970, The Tears of a Clown hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, the Cash Box Top 100, and the Billboard R&B chart simultaneously. It became the only #1 pop hit in Smokey Robinson's entire run with the Miracles. A song so good, its own writers didn't believe in it. #2, War, Edwin Starr, 1970. By 1969, Norman Whitfield had become Motown's most fearless producer. He and Barrett Strong wrote a song called War for the Temptations, a direct, full-throated anti-Vietnam War anthem with the most recognizable opening 4 words in protest music history. War. What is it good for? The Temptations recorded it for their 1970 album, Psychedelic Shack. And college students across America went crazy for it. Thousands of letters poured into Motown, begging the label to release it as a single. Berry Gordy said no. The Temptations were one of Motown's most commercially important acts, beloved by both black and white audiences, conservative fans included. Gordy was not going to risk the career of his biggest male group on a politically divisive anthem. He told Whitfield, "The Temptations version stays on the album." But Whitfield didn't let the song die. He went to Edwin Starr, a powerful soul shouter from Nashville who had come to Motown when Gordy bought out his former label, Rick Tick. And who had been kept out of the studio for 6 months. Starr agreed immediately. He told the producers he would only record it on one condition, that he could sing it his way, with the full fury of what the lyrics deserved. They gave him that permission. What is it good for? Nothing. What Edwin Starr delivered was not a song. It was a sermon. It was a scream. It was a man standing at the pulpit of a nation in agony, ad-libbing, "Good God, y'all," and absolutely nothing. Lines that became as iconic as the song itself.
Who wants to die? War.
Berry Gordy himself later wrote in his autobiography that "War," with Edwin's thundering vocals, charged up to #1 and became, quote, almost an anthem of the times.
Yeah, what is it good for?
Edwin Starr's "War" reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1970 and stayed there for 3 weeks. Billboard ranked it the 5th biggest song of the entire year. The Temptations version stayed on the album. Edwin Starr got the #1. And the song that Berry Gordy was too afraid to release became the most successful protest song in pop music history.
All right. Well.
#1, What's Going On? Marvin Gaye, 1971. By 1970, Marvin Gaye was Motown's biggest star, and he was broken.
Got to find a way to bring.
His duet partner Tammy Terrell had just died of a brain tumor. His brother Frankie came home from Vietnam carrying stories that kept Marvin awake at night. Four Tops member Obie Benson handed him an unfinished song, inspired by police-beating protesters in San Francisco. Marvin took it, rewrote it from the ground up, and produced it himself. Berry Gordy heard it and called it the worst thing I have ever heard in my life. He refused to release it, so Marvin went on strike. He told Motown he would not record a single note until that record came out. While Gordy was in Los Angeles focused on Diana Ross, 2 Motown executives pressed 100,000 copies and released it on January 17, 1971, without Gordy's knowledge. Those copies sold in days. What's Going On hit #1 on the R&B chart and stayed there for 5 straight weeks. It became the fastest-selling single in Motown's history. The album that followed is now ranked by Rolling Stone as the greatest album of all time. The worst thing Berry Gordy ever heard in his life is the greatest record he ever put out. Every one of these songs was held back, vetoed, shelved, hidden, or buried by the same man who built the machine that made them possible. That's the thing about Berry Gordy. He was a genius at recognizing what the market wanted today. But the songs that last, the ones people are still singing 50 years later, are the ones that didn't fit today. They fit forever. And sometimes it takes one man's refusal to get out of the way before forever gets a chance. If you made it to the end, thank you. These are real stories behind real records that almost never found their audience. If this moved you, give it a like. It helps other people who love this music find their way here too. And subscribe, because the next one goes even deeper.